Found EC, another trucker. What is the best way to buy a truck? Going through a 1099 or a W-2 job? I forgot the whole name because I seen the name earlier. I seen this question earlier, but I know the beginning of the name is OG. So shout out to you for this question. I think it was a pretty good question. It just kind of caught my eye right before I had laid down earlier today. But what is the best way to get a truck? Well, the truth be told, man, I don't really know nothing about 1099s because I never worked a 1099 gig. Everything I've done up until the point to where I went and financed my own truck has been W-2. But overall, I don't think it matters which one of those routes that you take, to make money and pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? To me, that don't matter which way you go, 1099 or W-2. What you need is a plan, is a for sure plan to be able to get to that point to where you want to, be able to get your own truck. It's pros and cons of working 1099 and W-2. I hear so many stories about 1099. Like I say, I don't know. It seems like a lot of 1099 come with people having to be in leases and things like that. And as you know what I'm saying, a lot of us here, a lot of these lease program situations don't be turning out good in the end. So I don't know, pick your poison with that. W-2, I guess it just all depends on who you work for and what your situation is. Because from what I hear, working at 1099, I mean, I hear some people say they've been running it up with a 1099, but then you hear some people in certain 1099 situations to where they probably making less money than a company driver. So it just really all depends on the situation. But I just say overall, man, you got to have a plan. Whether you go 1099 or whether you work a W-2, it really don't matter. You just got to have a plan. And to me personally, I think that, if you got debt or if you need to establish credit and build your credit up to be able to qualify to be able to go get your own truck through a dealership or through a lot, a lot like Lone Mountain or Aero Sales or whoever, I think it's much better to do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're trying to go through a lease, from what I hear about these leases, man, it just seems like you being overworked to pay for their equipment. They just using you to pay for their equipment. That's what it seems like overall. In a lot of cases. Then for you to almost get to the end of your lease, to almost being able to pay it off, and then, one slip up, you missed one payment or something like that, or you was late with a payment, now they want to take the truck away from you. Stuff like that, man. I be hearing about stuff like that, man. It's a dirty game. But ain't nothing that's worth something gonna come overnight. So my personal advice would be, man, build your credit up, get your credit straight, stack your bread up, and so you can be able to qualify to go be able to finance your own truck. That way you don't have to worry about being in a truck that you lease through a company. What happens if you lease a truck through a company and you don't want to be in that situation no more? You can't take the truck with you. So when you finance your own truck through a third-party source other than through the company that you're working for, you can take that truck and bounce any way you want to. So that would be my advice. 1099, W-2, it don't matter which way you go. What is your plan? What you willing to sacrifice? You know what I'm saying? Are you good with saving money? Do you have money management? Those type of things. Yeah, that's what I would do, man. I think that'd be the reason why a lot of people get into these lease purchases, man. Because a lot of people don't really want to take the time out to build a foundation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants shit overnight. You know, my credit wasn't all that good early on in my career in trucking. You know, I had to build my shit. It took me a couple years to get my credit up in the 700s. But it's a process. But I mean, I guess, you know what I'm saying, people got to do whatever's best for them. Do whatever's best for you. But that's just my advice. Like I say, man, I don't really know nothing about 1099s. I never worked a 1099 gig. And, you know, even when it comes to buying a truck, man, like I'm real anal. You know, if you watch my videos, I'm real anal about people being prepared and stacking up their bread and having a, you know what I'm saying, having a certain amount of money before you jump into getting your own truck. I'm gonna always stick by that. Preparation is key. But you know, sometimes you can find yourself procrastinating too, to where you never make a move. So I mean, hey man, you know what I'm saying? You think about getting your own truck, you just gotta be ready to jump in this cold water. You know, it's gonna feel cold at first, but you know, along the way, you'll figure it out. Cause I mean, to me, it's like, it's two ways. It's another two ways to come in and getting your own truck. You know, you can work and save until you get a sizable amount. You know, I say, you know, touching 6 figures, that's a good amount to come in with. But you know, most people they're not gonna put that time and make that sacrifice and spend that much time to try to save that amount of money. Most people gonna come in with the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they barely got, just enough to get into the game and get a truck and, you know, have a little maintenance money. Most people is gonna take that route, and that's just the truth. So, you know, I would say, you know, you can take the way of saving up all your bread and coming in to where you got financial leverage, or you just gonna have to come in and with what you got, and you just gonna have to tough it out. And you know, hopefully you be one of the strong to survive. Hopefully you finance, if you finance a truck rather than getting a cash truck. You know, at this point, because I financed my truck, at this point, looking back, I can see moving forward, I wouldn't want nothing but cash trucks. You know, my truck is paid off now. It's not a cash truck, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to finance it. But looking forward, I wouldn't do nothing but cash trucks. So, I mean, it just all depends on how you do it, man. It's all on you. It's gonna be a journey, and along the way, like I say, you know, the strong will survive. So, but there's really no easy way to get in a truck. I mean, there is an easy way for you to get into your own truck, or to get into a situation where you think it's your own truck. Plenty easy way. Easy way is lease purchase. But to accomplish what you want to accomplish with your own truck, there is no easy way. I don't think there's an easy way. Because either you're going to have to put the time in to get the resources up, or if you come in with minimal resources, you're going to have to go through the motions to survive through, to be able to pull and pull yourself up and build your foundation to get to where you want to be. You know, like I said, as we hear with a lot of people that go into lease purchases, you know, that's the easy route. That's one of the easy routes to get a truck. And, you know, sometimes the easy route is going to cost you more money and cost you more time. So, you know, you got to think about these things. But overall, man, my advice, I would just worry about building my foundation to put myself in a position to be able to go get my own truck. First and foremost, it don't matter whether you go W-2, 1099, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's pros and cons to both of those. You can find good situations in either one of those categories of employment or working for yourself or whatnot. It's just all depending on the situation. But it don't matter which one you take. It's all about your plan. And a lot of times, man, when you have a plan, it's gonna keep you grounded. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna keep your parameters. Everything outside of your parameters is gonna keep the bullshit out. You know, just like me coming into the industry, like with the plan that I had, I knew I wasn't doing no lease purchase. With the vision and for the long run that I had, I just knew that I wasn't gonna do no lease purchase. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a plan and it's for the most part thought out, sometimes your shit don't go as planned. But when you have a general plan and a vision in your head and you stick to it, no matter what happens, no matter what's going on around you, no matter what circumstances that you gotta face, you'll be able to make it through. So, you know, when I came in the truck and I had a plan and a vision, some of the times the immediate plans that I had right then and there in the moments, they didn't go the way as planned. But overall, from where I started to where I'm at now, shit has been executed. I said I was gonna get my own truck. I got my own truck. So you got to, you know what I'm saying? The plan got to be on you. Because it even if I would have did 1099, it didn't matter if I would have did 1099, W-2, both, whatever. I still was gonna end up in this position. You know, 1099 or whatever that may be. Hold up. You know, your route or which way you choose to be employed, that don't matter. It just matter about the plan and you sticking to it. So, and you know, like I say, man, just put yourself in a position to be able to get your own truck. That's the way that I would take. Getting my credit right, stacking my bread up as much as I can. You know, I went through Long Mountain and got my truck. And hey, man, long as you pay your note, pay it on time, and at the end of your payments, it's gonna be your truck, free and clear. They legit. So that's my recommendation, man. So, you know, anybody else want to chime in? If you work 1099, you know, what is that like? Maybe, you know, other people got answers to this question. I mean, people would leave comments, you're gonna, you know, say what you want to say anyway, but I'm asking for a more concentrated effort to answer this question. Because me personally, I feel like it don't really matter which way you go. It's all about your individual plan. And I just think you come out better in the long run when you build your foundation. You know what I'm saying? Getting your credit right, getting your money right, and to be able to put yourself in a position to have some leverage. Cause to me, that lease program shit, to me, it ain't really too much leverage in that. Some people make it, but I don't know. What's the overwhelming averages of people who don't get to finish them lease purchases, or if they finish it, they don't get the truck or all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's my 2 cents. Bonnie, see, I'm gone.